Today we have Myrsini Aristidou, lead on WECAN, being an award-winning filmmaker. Your feature film, Hold On To Me, premiered at Sundance Film Festival and won the Audience Award in the World Cinema Dramatic Competition. You're a film director, screenwriter, and producer from Cyprus. Myrsini, talk to us about your film, Hold On To Me.
Wow, so many things to say. You want me to talk about the story? How I
Yes, let's talk
making?
about the story. Let's talk about, and then we'll see where this leads us.
So, the film is a father-daughter story. It pretty much focuses on Iris, young Iris, who is 11 years old, and she finds out that her father is back in town after many years of not having seen him. And I guess she's curious to know who he is, since he's meant to be her father, but she doesn't know anything about him. So this curiosity is sparked, and she starts following him around. Well, not following him. She's also hesitant to meet him, but basically it's them coming together after many years, and there's a hesitation and a resistance from both of them
Mm,
in reconnecting at first. Uh, but yeah, they kind of figure it out. And I think the film talks more about the complex emotional world of having to reconnect with someone
mm,
you don't know, who is meant to be a role in your life,
mm.
or uh, yeah, having this expectation, but also the longing.
Yeah.
um I think it's about forgiveness as well.
Mm,
And at its core, I think the film is purely human, in the sense that I do believe that we need each other as
yeah.
humans, and we ought to put in the work
Yeah.
to figure it out.
Which is so beautiful and so needed in these times where we feel often very disconnected from others.
Yes.
Mercini, so talk to us what it means to win this prize at Sundance. What does that mean for you?
I was very confused when it happened. I didn't expect
Mm,
it, clearly, because I'm from Cyprus. Like, we had a few of our team members there, but clearly I didn't know anyone in the audience. And yeah, it was a big surprise, made me very happy. I think it was like the warmest, best award we could have received, because
mm,
that it spoke to people, and and the intention behind making movies is always to be able to touch people in some sort of way
yeah,
or move them.
yeah.
So yes, it was a big, let's say, almost like it felt very fulfilling to read
Mm,
the word in that sense.
yeah, amazing. Mercini, so talk to us a little bit about those pivotal points that led you to where you are today. When did you feel this is, what you want to do with your life, and how does that then pan out?
It's very funny because I kind of grew up in a very artistic environment, and I knew I was going
Mm,
to be an artist since I was a kid, in a way. I was a creative child. But I wanted to study painting, in fact. And I was not growing up with my father, who was also kind of an artist. He's a writer. Uh, and then I had applied to New York secretly from my mom, who was going to support me. And I got into Pratt for painting. And then I met with my dad, who, he was not so much in my life in my younger years, but then during my teenage years, we kind of started coming closer together, and talking more about movies and about other things, about life philosophies. And I told him I'm gonna go study in New York. And he said, well, since you're gonna be there, you should try filmmaking too. You should try directing.
mm,
And he said it so casually. And I said, let me see if they have a film program in
mm,
this school. And they did have a film program. And so I switched to film before I went to study painting. I thought, you know what? Since I'm going to go to university, I might as well study something I don't know anything about how to make.
mm,
I loved movies since I was a kid, always. I had watched a lot of films, but I never thought realistically, because in Cyprus we don't have a big cinema culture, or it's a very small country and there's
Yeah.
no industry, so it's not very connected to cinema. So I never imagined that I would have been a filmmaker until I started studying it, where I fell in love with it. And I was like, wow, this is what making a movie is. This is what happens. This is how you put things together. And I found it so creative and collaborative, working with actors or thinking of the sets or, trying to translate feelings into images and
Mm.
sound. And yeah, I fell in love with it. It's very like my whole career as a filmmaker, I feel is very meta. Has to do a lot with my father. He kind of guided
Yeah.
it some way. And also the films that have made me, I guess, placed me where I am today. The stories, my two short films and my feature deal with this kind of relationship of father and daughter. And I feel like in the process of, you know, so like figuring things out, I kind of created art through it.
Yeah.
And it's a very cathartic medium for me because it's the closest we can get to real life in a sort of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Myrsini, so talk to us a bit more about these technical things. So you have an idea, you write the screen, you write the screenplay. You what are the building blocks that you need to get into place, and how did you do that? From the writing to the finding the money to putting the team together. How does that work?
So it's a very indie film. It's a
Yeah,
European,
yeah,
uh, mostly financed from government grants.
France. Hmm.
grants. I mean, in my specific case, it's a Cypriot, Greek, Danish co-production with some support from the USA.
Amazing.
Uh, it takes years. It took a lot of years, way more than I expected. Okay, there was COVID also that changed
Yeah.
things and blocked everything for a couple of years.
Mm,
But um, but I think it's a long process. First of all, I guess you start writing. You have to write a first draft of your script and then rework it and apply to the first fund. For us, it was Cyprus because I knew I was going to shoot here, and wait for the answer. So that's a long time. So then you can even rework your script in the meantime. And then it was Greece, and then it was Denmark at the last minute. And then the US came kind of in the middle. There was a grant from my university. But I think the truth is that every film is different.
mm,
And depending on where, or sorry, there are dogs. Depending on where you are, the process is different. Like it's very different if you're making a film in the US or if you're
yeah.
making a film in Europe. Even in the UK, it's different.
Mm,
Um, for us, for me, coming from Cyprus, there's only one available fund
yeah.
to apply to. So it's because it's a very small country. So, that's the only one you can get, and that's never enough to actually make a feature.
Mm,
So you have to rely on forming co-productions and trying to get financing from other places as well
yeah.
when it comes to independent European films. But yeah, writing is I guess in the meantime, while I was financing the project, I was also rewriting a lot
Mm,
till I truly kind of nailed what it is that I wanted to say with the film. Because I
yeah.
think writing is it can be very fulfilling, but also very challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Myrsini, so what's your big vision? What does sort of success look like for you?
Mm, I don't know. That's a very hard question. Because success for me is, I mean, it goes down to how I feel
Mm,
about myself, right? I feel successful today not because I won an award in Sundance, but because I saw sides of myself that I didn't expect to see in the process of making this film.
mm,
Good sides, like a lot of perseverance, a lot of will and strength and you know, patience even throughout this entire process. And I guess I'm I'm happy when I can handle life and circumstances with integrity that matters to me. So I think that's what makes me feel successful in a certain sense inside.
Yeah.
And being happy, that's
Mm.
success ultimately.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
choose to do and be the person that's gonna that feels right for you, regardless of, what the expectation of success is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Myrsini, and what does that mean though for your next steps? Those type of awards, if one gets them, does that put you on a map, or how does it change the trajectory, or how could it change the trajectory?
So it definitely opens a lot of doors and
Mm,
connects with new
mm,
people and producers. And I guess you can never know where it's going to lead,
yeah.
but hopefully it does lead to bigger things and being able to make projects with more support because it's
Mm,
very hard to be making movies without real financial,
yeah. Yeah.
support. So I'm hoping that this is what it will end up doing. I cannot tell yet, it's too soon,
Yeah.
but I do know it did open many doors and it did, at least broaden the circle of people that I could potentially work with in
Mm,
future,
yeah.
future project.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Myrsini, so what top tips do you have for younger, young aspiring screenwriters, filmmakers, producers?
I think it's very important that they find their voice. One of the most important steps in beginning to write also, it's knowing who you are and what it is that you want to say, really.
Mm,
Because that also makes writing easier when you know what you want to say.
yeah.
And I mean, for younger filmmakers, I'd say they should start with short films also. It's a
Hmm.
very good practice to
Yeah.
start. It's kind of the microcosm of making a feature. And I think it's very good practice before going on to make a feature. It helps a lot. But yeah, listening to what they truly want to say or, what speaks to them, whatever sentiment or mood or genre or whatever it is that really they care about
Mm,
saying.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Myrsini, and your main themes, the longing and the connection and the love and the showing what truly matters. Are those themes you want to take forward into new projects? How do you put this? How do you put your two short films and your first feature film, in line with future projects?
I feel like the theme specifically of father and daughter, I've closed. I think it was the end of like a triptych now by
Yeah.
making feature. But the emotional core of my films, which talk a lot about love and connection, disconnection and connection, and
Mm,
coming together, even if the circumstances are not ideal, uh, that's definitely something I'd love to explore more.
yeah.
Um, and I guess even go deeper into the depth of our humanity and how much
Mm,
we need this.
yeah.
I do believe we need this. We need stories like this as well to be reminded of who we are and what we're capable of. And yeah.
Yeah, we need it desperately.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And this is what this award shows. And it's not about the award, but this is an audience award.
Yeah.
So you've been awarded by people watching and feeling things and seeing things that we desperately need in the current times. Myrsini, so do you have a new project? What are your plans and goals for the next years?
Wow. Uh, so I do have a lot of ideas all the time. I have this kind of uh, blessing, I'd say, that I download a lot of ideas very fast
Mm,
in my mind. But I think until I find the one that really resonates and moves me deeply, because when working on a movie, it takes time, take many years from your life. Uh, yeah, I'm working on that. I've started writing a little bit
mm,
hesitantly because I also need to take a little bit of a break now after a very long time of working on this
yeah,
film.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm hoping also for I have an agent now in LA and a manager, and they've been sending me scripts, and I'm very open to directing other people's writing as well, if it speaks in some way and if it's something
yeah,
I'd want to do.
yeah,
So let's see what comes. Yeah.
yeah. Exciting times.
Yes, very much.
Myrsini, so what do you feel? How do you feel you want to matter? I mean, you're young. I'm not talking so much about legacy, but how do you want to matter with your projects going forward?
That's another good question, Stephanie. How do you matter? Don't we all matter anyway?
We all matter. It's just how do we want to matter? Everybody matters. Everybody's story matters.
I care about the human species
Yeah.
because I think that's the meaning of life in many ways.
Mm,
Care about our relationships. I think our entire life is based on relationships,
yeah.
whatever they are,
Yeah.
whether they're family, professional, our neighbors, career, romantic, whatever it is, friendships. Our entire lives are kind of a structure, a network of relationships that we have. And I think the more aware and conscious we become of ourselves and how much impact we can have in the people around us by being, the best we can be, which is not always easy, to learn how to be better. Um, it's huge. I think it trickles down into people around you and around you and around you. And so that matters to me more than anything. I feel like with cinema, you can do that and you have an effect on a wider audience that it's people you don't know, but in a way you can affect their soul or move them one way or another.
Definitely.
And that matters. Um, and it also matters in very small instances, when someone will watch the film and come up to me and tell me like, it makes me reconsider my relationship with my father or my relationship with uh even if you manage to like move one person, it's kind of a huge deal.
It
You're
is.
creating a big change. And yeah, I'm an avid believer of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
Mhm.
Myrsini, so what do you feel are your main learnings from, you know, doing this triptych of movies?
Wow. There's a lot, but I think the most central one has been that I need to believe in myself more.
Mm,
I've doubted myself many times. I didn't believe in myself enough starting off. And I feel like now I do way more. Trust myself, trust my instincts way more, listen to my instinct way more and stop dismissing it. Um, yeah, I mean, I've learned that a lot, but I think there's a long way to go as well, uh, in arriving there. Yeah,
yeah. And isn't that the human journey? Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always think I'm mid 50s and I only have late onset baldness now, you
No,
know?
no way. I think that is the beauty of life, indeed. I mean, there's always growth, right? One way or another. Because
Yeah.
life gives you what it wants and it's out of your control and you can plan as much as you want and then, everything will like kind of topple around and be a different thing. So there's so many lessons all the time But at the core, I think the way you make decisions when you believe in your capacity of yeah, your capacity, I guess,
Yeah.
is very different.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. Your self-worth even.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Myrsini, so how can we support you? How can the listeners support you?
Well, they can try and watch the film if it comes out,
Mhm.
depending on their country. They can follow the film's account on Instagram or mine, see where the film is playing in next festival. So if they're there, they can always go watch the film and leave their good reviews if they like it. If they don't, they shouldn't leave or they can still express their opinions. Um, I think that's supportive if people get to, if they like the film and share it with people that they like, and that's the way to support the project. As we're trying to also, beyond the festival circuit, that I think the film is going very well in festivals. Ideally, I would love for it to be in cinemas as well.
Yeah.
And as we're working through that, I think the support of people that watch it in film festivals is great and can be very big
Yeah.
at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
So, what takeaways would you like our listeners to have from your story, Myrsini, if you had to sort of sum it up?
I think they should believe in themselves and their visions. There's going to be a trillion of obstacles and people that can tell them they can't do it. I've had many of that. For one success, there's like 1,000 rejections behind
Yeah.
many times that no one talks about. And 1,000 obstacles that we don't talk about enough, maybe.
Yeah.
But if you can just keep going
Mm.
and keep that certainty and faith, I think there's a lot of faith
Mhm.
in there
Yeah.
on the things that you can't control. Um, and I do believe that everything always happens for our highest good.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Whatever the,
real faith. Mm.
yeah, whatever the outcome, I do think that everything always happens for our highest good.
Mm.
Yeah.
Myrsini, so you were just alluding to those challenges that we often feel are sort of failures, right? And how do you navigate those many rejections?
Don't take them personally.
Mm.
That's a very important lesson as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, things are not personal.
No.
It's never because of who you are, or it's just, you know, especially in competitive circumstances, if you're trying to make your film and trying to raise financing, and there's so many factors for that to come together. Whoever's reading your script, in what mood they're in,
Mm.
what they like today versus what they could like tomorrow. Uh, there's so many factors that are out of your control. And in that sense, I believe that the way to navigate it is to focus on the things you can control. So
Hmm.
focus on, making yourself better. Focus on writing a good script or working on yourself to learn how to write a better script or learn how to be better at what you're doing, uh, to higher your chances of less rejections. But
Yeah.
it doesn't guarantee you anything,
No.
even if you do that. Uh, but yeah, I've kind of realized that I don't want to let myself be sad
Mm.
by things that I cannot control.
Yeah.
There are indeed so many things in the process of making a film that you cannot control.
Mm.
So many. And as long as you don't take them personally, that's what I mean by personally. Like, don't let them make you sad because, okay, it's normal to be sad if
Yeah.
you've been rejected by a fan that you're waiting for 6 months, but don't let it take you down,
Yeah.
or make you give up or or force you to stop trying in a way, unless you are certain that you do not want to keep going.
Yeah,
And changing direction is also great.
yeah,
It's also
yeah.
amazing when you're able to say, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. Maybe I don't want it enough, and it's fine. I can do something else, and I'm gonna be happy as well. So yeah, I'm very stoic in that sense. I do try to not let things I can't control, take me down.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's amazing advice. Don't let rejections take you down. Focus on what you can control. Believe in yourself. So, making a movie is an incredibly collaborative effort. It's a real community that one builds around, and people sort of pull, they don't always pull on the same string, but that's sort of the exercise of getting people behind your vision to do that. What do you feel are your biggest sort of human lessons from that?
There's a lot. I think there were many instances that I could have done better
Mm,
in the collaboration process. Um, Maybe be more patient or more communicative in a better communicate better,
mm,
um, because it's not easy to kind of align everyone in the same vision. Like no one's in your brain really.
no.
So you have to really explain it in a very specific way, like what you were thinking of, where you want to. And sometimes it's easier. Sometimes you work with people that are fully aligned, and in fact they kind of feed into that idea and give you more and more and more. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes you really have to make a lot of effort to align with someone.
Mm,
And I guess in the process of making a film, you're always going to have both. You're going to have both experiences.
yeah.
Both are valuable because you can always learn something from
Mm,
them. Uh, but I do think it's better to surround yourself with people that usually have more to give and can elevate, the vision of any
definitely.
because they align. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Myrsini, I'm so grateful for you to take the time and to talk to us about your story, your insights, the film world, how one makes a movie, how one dreams up these stories that people need to see and be convinced about the stories that you want to tell and to go for it and to create that community. And so I'm very excited to keep watching you go forward with these beautiful human themes that I think the world needs a lot more of.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie, and thank you for inviting me to talk about it. I think it's important that people know and, follow their hearts in this sense if they want to create.
Definitely.